We were just talking about where the radical gender ideology stuff currently stands and how it identifies. And out in the state of Montana, there is Representative Zooey Zephyr. Zooey spelled with two O's, which I have never seen before. I'm assuming that's not a typo, but that's an interesting one because I mean, I was going to say, like, would you be a bad person for doing that? I think that's a pretty straightforward read of it. Anyway, but this is very common, and this is the hysteria that you see in their position because their position is inherently indefensible from a position of rationality. Here is State Rep Zephyr saying that people are supporting LGBTQ bills that want us removed from public life. Play 20.
As a legislator, one of the things I think about is when these bills come forward, they get talked about as if they're very narrow. This is just about sports. This is just about healthcare for a certain age group. But what we see in moments like this is that the people who support anti-LGBTQ bills, they're not content with a single piece of policy. They want to see us removed from all stores. They want to see us removed from public life. And to me, that's why it's so important in this moment that we fight back and that our allies, both individuals and corporations, are willing to stand alongside us.
One thing is, notice how it has to be the whole, it's LGBTQ, it's gay, lesbian, it's all this together. Really, we're focusing in on the trans issue and how it affects kids. But what they're trying to say is they're essentially reversing the argument or reversing the slippery slope on us, Clay, on everyone who takes our position by saying, if you can't do gender transition for 8-year-olds and have drag queen story hour, gay people aren't safe in America anymore. Effectively, that's what the logic becomes. It's if you draw any lines about any of these things, you're trying to erase, that's a term they use, erase from public life the LGBTQ plus community.
Yeah, and this is why to me, crystallization of this for many people has come through women's athletics, right? Because most people, and everybody can have different perspectives on this. Like we always say, the First Amendment's alive and well on this show, even if it's not alive and well a lot of other places. Many of you can have many different perspectives on this. For most people, I think if you're an adult and you decide you're a dude and you want to wear a dress, do whatever you want, right? I think it's unlikely that you are going to be wildly happier. I think this is my opinion, I think many of these people who are embracing the transgender lifestyle are wildly unhappy, and they are looking for some form of salvation, a drastic change in their life. Oh, if only I was a boy instead of a girl. Oh, and the reality is, in the data reflects this, people who have transgender surgeries do not suddenly become, by and large, super happy people, right? This is a ideology that is very often, frankly, and this is why I think it's sad in many ways, made up of very depressed and unhappy people who are
the
looking
suicide
for
rate
some reason.
is tragically very high.
Yes. And so, but if adults want to do that, fine. But there is a difference between an adult making a choice, which is a form of freedom, and someone saying, I've made this choice and now you have to adjust your behavior because of it. Or even worse, Buck, now you have to be so inclusive that you exclude me from being able to, for instance, win a women's championship because a man with a penis has decided he's a woman. That is where tolerance ends for the vast majority of the American public. And I think rightly, inclusion at some point becomes exclusion, and we are far past that now.
That's true. And it also, they use the politeness of people on our side of the issue as a weapon to get them to slowly but surely be a part of lies. Because ultimately, this is based on a foundation. The whole trans movement is based on a foundation of lies. We'll come back to more of this. Take your calls, 800-282-2882. More families than not have dozens and dozens of old videotapes from the days of recording family events with a video cam. If you're still storing a box or two of videotapes, it's time to digitize what's on them before it's too late, because tapes 20 years or older, they deteriorate, they lose their clarity, and eventually you won't be able to watch them on anything, even if you had a VCR, which you probably don't. So that's why you need Legacy Box. They'll send you a specially made shipping box for your items. Load the Legacy Box shipping box with your old tapes, film, and pictures, and send it back to them at their facilities in Tennessee. In a few weeks' time,